Ladies and gentlemen, today we gather to reflect on the rich and complex history of Scotland, a land of resilience, heritage, and unwavering spirit. From ancient tribes to the forging of a modern nation, Scotland's past is a tale of strength, struggle, and innovation. Early Scotland and the Picts. Scotland's story begins in the depths of prehistory, long before written records, when ancient peoples roamed its rugged landscapes. These early inhabitants were part of a vast network of Celtic tribes, and among them were the Picts, whose name comes from the Latin picti, meaning painted ones, a reference to their distinctive body art and war paint. The Picts were a fierce and enigmatic people who left behind striking symbols carved into standing stones. Yet much of their history remains shrouded in mystery. Their society was complex, with a strong warrior culture, intricate artistic traditions, and a unique system of governance. One of the most remarkable aspects of the Picts was their ability to resist outside influence. Unlike much of Britain, which fell under Roman rule, the Picts successfully defended their lands from the encroaching empire. The Romans, despite their military might and advanced tactics, struggled to subdue the northern tribes. The resistance of the Picts was so formidable that the Romans constructed Hadrian's Wall in AD 122, a vast stone barrier stretching across northern England, to keep them at bay. Later, another defensive structure, the Antonine Wall, was built even further north, but this too proved ineffective in securing Roman control over Scotland. The Romans eventually withdrew, unable to conquer the land or break the fierce spirit of its people. The Picts were not the only early inhabitants of Scotland. The Gaels, arriving from Ireland, began to settle in the west, bringing with them their own culture and language, Gaelic. Over time, these two groups, along with the Britons and Anglo-Saxons, shaped the early foundations of what would become Scotland. The fusion of these cultures laid the groundwork for the future kingdom. The Viking Age brought new challenges as Norse raiders attacked the coastlines and islands of Scotland. These invaders established settlements in the Orkney and Shetland Islands, as well as parts of the Western Isles. The Norse influence left a lasting mark on Scotland's culture, particularly in language, place names, and seafaring traditions. It was through these centuries of conflict, migration, and cultural blending that Scotland's identity began to form. The land was not yet unified, but the foundations were being laid for a kingdom that would one day rise to become a force of its own. As Scotland transitioned from its early tribal societies into the medieval era, the land witnessed a series of events that would shape its destiny. The path to nationhood was not an easy one. It was marked by wars, shifting alliances, and the struggle to maintain independence against powerful external forces. The rise of Scottish kings, the battles for sovereignty, and the forging of a distinct national identity all played crucial roles in the making of medieval Scotland. One of the earliest and most significant milestones in this transformation was the unification of the Picts and the Gaels. This was largely achieved under the leadership of King Kenneth MacAlpin in the 9th century. He is often credited as the first king of Scots, as he successfully merged the two dominant cultures of the time. This unification was not immediate nor without conflict, but it laid the foundation for a more centralized kingdom. Over the following centuries, Scottish rulers expanded their influence, consolidating territories and strengthening their hold over the land. However, the emerging Scottish kingdom soon faced external threats. The growing power of England to the south created tensions that would lead to centuries of conflict. One of the most defining moments in Scottish history came in the late 13th and early 14th centuries, during the Wars of Scottish Independence. These wars were a direct response to England's attempts to dominate Scotland, particularly under King Edward I, who sought to bring the land under his rule. In 1296, Edward I invaded Scotland, marking the beginning of a brutal and prolonged struggle. The Scots, refusing to submit, rose in rebellion. One of the most iconic figures to emerge during this period was William Wallace, a warrior who led a fierce resistance against English forces. His victory at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297 demonstrated the Scots' resilience and their ability to challenge the might of England. Though Wallace was later captured and executed in 1305, His legacy endured as a symbol of Scottish defiance. Following Wallace, another great leader emerged, Robert the Bruce. Determined to secure Scotland's independence, Bruce led his people through one of the most significant battles in Scottish history, the Battle of Bannockburn in 1314. Against overwhelming odds, his forces achieved a decisive victory over the English, solidifying his place as Scotland's rightful king. This battle was more than just a military triumph. It was a declaration that Scotland would not bow to foreign rule. The long struggle for sovereignty continued, and it was not until 1320 that Scotland formally asserted its independence through the Declaration of Arbroath. This historic document, signed by Scottish nobles and addressed to the Pope, proclaimed Scotland's right to self-rule and famously stated that as long as 100 Scots remain alive, they would never live under English dominion. The declaration was a powerful statement of national identity and has been regarded as an early expression of the principles of freedom and self-determination. Even after securing its independence, Scotland faced internal and external challenges. Dynastic disputes, rival factions, and feuding clans often created instability within the kingdom. The Scottish monarchy itself faced moments of weakness and turmoil, yet the country endured. During the later medieval period, Scotland developed its own systems of law, governance, and culture, further distinguishing itself from its neighbors. The rise of the Stuart dynasty brought new changes, setting the stage for even greater shifts in Scotland's political landscape. Medieval Scotland was a land of fierce warriors, brilliant tacticians, and steadfast rulers. Its battles for sovereignty were not just about defending territory, but about preserving a way of life, a culture, and a people who refused to be subdued. Through resilience and determination, Scotland carved out its place in history, laying the groundwork for the nation it would become. Beyond its struggles for sovereignty, Scotland emerged as a land of innovation, intellect, and profound influence on the global stage. From groundbreaking discoveries in science and medicine to advancements in philosophy, literature, and industry, Scotland's contributions have shaped not only its own future, but also that of the wider world. The Scottish Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, and Scotland's global diaspora all played crucial roles in establishing the country's legacy as a center of knowledge and progress. One of the most remarkable periods in Scottish history was the Scottish Enlightenment of the 18th century. This intellectual movement, often considered one of the most influential of its kind, saw Scotland produce some of the greatest thinkers in philosophy, economics, and science. Figures such as David Hume and Adam Smith reshaped the way the world understood reason, morality, and commerce. Hume's philosophical inquiries into human nature challenged long-held beliefs and laid the foundation for modern skepticism and empiricism, while Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations provided the basis for modern economic theory, shaping ideas about capitalism, free markets, and global trade. But Scotland's contributions were not limited to abstract thought. The country was at the forefront of medical and scientific advancements. James Clerk Maxwell revolutionized physics with his work on electromagnetism, paving the way for modern electrical and telecommunications technology. Joseph Black, a pioneer in chemistry, made groundbreaking discoveries in thermodynamics and latent heat. In the field of medicine, figures like Alexander Fleming, who discovered penicillin, and John Hunter, a pioneer of modern surgery, changed the course of medical science, saving countless lives around the world. Scotland's influence extended beyond academia and science into engineering and industry. The nation played a vital role in the Industrial Revolution, a period that saw immense technological advancements and economic growth. Scottish inventors and engineers helped drive this transformation. James Watt's improvements to the steam engine revolutionized transportation and industry, leading to increased productivity and efficiency in manufacturing. The shipbuilding industry in cities like Glasgow became world-renowned, producing some of the finest vessels that dominated global trade and warfare. Scotland's engineering prowess extended to bridge building, with figures like Thomas Telford designing infrastructure that connected communities and facilitated economic expansion. As Scotland thrived industrially and intellectually, its people spread across the globe, taking their skills, knowledge, and culture with them. The Scottish diaspora had a profound impact on many countries, particularly in North America, Australia, and New Zealand. Scottish immigrants became influential in politics, business, and education, with many playing key roles in shaping the development of these nations. In the United States, several founding fathers were of Scottish descent, and Scottish principles of law and governance helped shape the American Constitution. Similarly, in Canada, Scots were instrumental in the fur trade, exploration, and political leadership. Scottish literature and the arts also flourished, leaving an indelible mark on global culture. Writers like Robert Burns, Scotland's national poet, captured the spirit of the nation with his timeless verses, while Sir Walter Scott's historical novels brought Scotland's past to life for readers around the world. The works of Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of Sherlock Holmes, remain some of the most influential detective stories ever written. In modern times, Scotland continues to be a hub of artistic and cultural creativity, with its contributions to music, theater, and cinema resonating across generations. Through intellect, innovation, and global influence, Scotland's contributions have extended far beyond its borders. Whether in the realms of science, economics, literature, or industry, the achievements of the Scottish people have left an enduring impact on the world. From the Enlightenment to the Industrial Age and beyond, Scotland has been a nation of pioneers, shaping the world in ways that continue to be felt today. That Scotland's history is one of resilience, brilliance, and enduring influence. From the ancient tribes that resisted conquest to the medieval battles for sovereignty, from the intellectual triumphs of the Enlightenment to the innovations that shaped the modern world, Scotland has continuously demonstrated its strength and ingenuity. But Scotland's story is not just about the past. It is about the legacy that continues to inspire future generations. The courage of its warriors, the wisdom of its thinkers, and the creativity of its people remain deeply woven into the fabric of the nation. Today, Scotland stands as a land of tradition and progress, where the echoes of history meet the promise of the future. As we reflect on this remarkable journey, we are reminded that history is not just something to be remembered. It is something to be carried forward. The spirit of Scotland lives on in its people, its culture, and its contributions to the world. And as long as that spirit endures, Scotland's legacy will continue to shine for generations to come. Thank you.